Hey everyone, welcome to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. What are we talking about this time? Well, Skull Island, Rise of Kong. We thought Golem was the worst game of the year, but we have a new contender, and that's Skull Island, Rise of Kong. So there's a report that this game, which has gotten, I think, even almost, if not more, worse reviews than Golem did, was made in a year by overworked devs, according to the report. So this came out here recently. This game did, and the internet has basically said it's the worst game of this year, of 2023. So what happened? Well, in a new report that claims that it was made by a small team of developers on a tight budget, in just 1 year, putting the studio in a situation where making something good, both quickly and cheaply, would have been nearly impossible. So, in the new report from The Verge, the developers of Iguana Bee, a small indie studio based in Santiago, Chile, spoke anonymously with the outlet and explained that the Skull Island's publisher, Game Mill, can't speak. I cannot speak. Gave the team only 1 year to develop the game from scratch. They say the development process of the game was started in June of 2022, and it was aimed to end on June 2nd of this year. So 1 year development process. According to other developers at the indie studio, Game Mill, a U.S. Publisher of, I've never heard of them, so clearly probably not that many great games. They say that they frequently use smaller teams of developers to create licensed video games in a similarly short amount of times. Devs at Iguana Bee claim that Game Mill wouldn't provide teams with all the information about the project, leading to frustration and focusing teams to improvise with the limited information they had. Other companies suggest Game Mill wasn't willing to provide enough money for Iguana Bee to maintain a large skilled staff of developers. Sources tell The Verge that for most of Skull Island's development, only around 2 to 20 people were working on it. As you would expect, at least one developer reported that crunch happened and it was bad. They say the crunch was really set in motion in February, according to an anonymous developer. I was on automatic pilot by the end of February because all hope was lost. So it seems like Game Mill is a puppy mill, right? Same thing. They just churn out games on the cheap and on the fly. It sounds like. In licensed games typically have this bad reputation, and that's probably why. Like most of these licensed games typically turn out to be pretty awful because they don't put enough behind it, right? Some do, like Spider-Man 2 that just recently came out. But most licensed games based on some sort of licensing movie or some sort of theme or something like that tend to be low budget and churned out in no time at all just to make a quick buck. Which is sad because they could make something really good and really interesting if they just took the time to actually make something, had the budget behind it.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy was great.
Love it.
Spider-Man's first one was good, and Miles Morales, and then this new one, Spider-Man 2, is getting really good reviews. So I mean, a developer in the right hands with the right amount of funds and support could make something really good. So Skull Island, Rise of Kong, could have been a good game that people are like, hey, you should check this out. It's not bad. But instead, you get this, which, I mean, why even take the time? That's what I don't understand. Why even take the time to develop something like this in a quick amount of time? You're going to get a few people that might buy it, a few people that are going to buy it for the lulz, right? And then the game's not going to do very well, and it's going to sell poorly, and it's not going to make back what little money you used to develop it. So what's the point? It almost seems like maybe Game Mill. I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to speculate anything, but it seems like they might get something for. I mean, there's got to be a reason why they would take the time to do this, especially if this isn't the first. From according to what we know, this is the first company they've done this with. They do this a lot, apparently. So there's got to be they were making some sort of money in some sort of fashion. Otherwise, they would have just been dead in the water to begin with. So I don't know. What do you think of all this, Shane? This game as well is it's a $40. Yeah, it's a $40 game.
Well, I can't believe that they put time and effort into it. It has to be a tax write-off. It just has to be. Okay. And two, Kong looks like Craig the Brute. Do you remember Halo when it was Infinite, when it was first announced and they showed a trailer? Kong looks like Craig's special needs friend. Twin. It's freaking hilarious. I'm not joking. Google it. Google Craig, Google Kong.
Here's one thing I want to add, Shane, real quick. I just looked at Game Mills, like what games they've published, and Iguanabee, as far as what games they developed. And you know what game they developed? Our favorite, G.I. Joe Operation Blackout. That was published by Game Mill and developed by Iguanabee.
Okay. Who is trusting these people with those rights? That's the thing. G.I. Joe isn't what it used to be, but it is still a high property. I mean, they've made movies. They still make action figures. They still have cartoons, animated movies. Same with Kong. Paramount Warner Brothers own them. And who in the hell would trust these people, especially given 1 year? 1 year for development on a game that literally looks like it was on PlayStation 1, the beta for PlayStation 1, maybe the alpha. I mean, it's awful looking. And Nick, you will be the only person that would probably play and complete this. No offense, but that's you. You like a little suffering. I just can't understand how anybody would give these people the rights to a franchise name like that. King Kong, G.I. Joe. I mean, it's nuts. Let them make Katy Perry the game. That would be more in tune to what they've done here. It's hilarious. Kong, the graphics, the character models they're hilarious. Do you remember when Scary Movie was funny, the first one, and then they made a second one and that was funny, and then they gave the rights to somebody else to make it, and then it was sad? That's what happened here. It's Sad Kong, and it's Craig Kong is what it is, and it breaks my heart to look at. It does. I will not play this game. I maybe if it came out on Game Pass, I would load it up just to say I played it, but I don't think it's going to be on my $40 list by any means. Not even maybe a $5 list if it came with a steelbook. I could not do it. This thing is pretty rough looking. Nobody's liking it, and honestly, I think 3s and 4s out of 10s. Just so Kong doesn't come to their house and peel their butts like a banana. I don't know why anybody would play this game. I really don't. So bad Kong, bad Craig.
Yeah, and they made G.I. Joe Operation Blackout as well. They must have had a year to make that one too. I don't befront Iguanabee. They could probably make something really good, but Game Mill published G.I. Joe, and they also published this game. So, G.I. Joe we reviewed that one. You can go watch our review. That was probably one of the worst games I think we we've said some games are pretty bad,
And
but
you
that
pl- and you
game is
beat it.
still brought up, and I beat it, yeah. And that game is still brought up as like one of the worst games we've ever played. And it was horrible. I beat the game, and it was suffering all the way through to the end. And I just, and then you just come out again with another poor excuse for a game. It's unfortunate because you're exactly right. They're taking these licenses where they could make something cool with them, and they're licensing them out to the game mill, the puppy mill, right? The place that's just churning out games, just churning them out. Doesn't care what it is. Quick as possible. Just get them out the door.
Yeah, it has to be a financial thing. It just has to be. It cannot be that they're serious about producing and creating a game based on the IP. It just doesn't make sense. It has to be some sort of a tax thing or a financial gain of some sort. I mean, it can't be based off the actual sales of the game. I think there's a lot more to it. And somebody with more intelligence than I should look into this. Pretty much anybody can do that.
Yeah. I mean, on Steam, it's sitting at a mostly negative review with 44 reviews. Some of the positives are, I liked how the graphics reminded me of Clay Fighter 64. Very, very nostalgic feelings it gave. They gave a positive review for that. So, someone gave it a positive review, says there is a jerking off mechanic in this game. Hey, there you go. Get Kong off. So I just don't understand it. But yeah, these types of games have got to stop. I just don't understand how they're making any money from releasing this type of stuff. I just don't get it. There's got to be something, like you were saying, Shane, some sort of tax write-off or something, because there's no way that these games are making back the money they're spending on them.
Nope, there's some skeezy business bullcrap going on here because they didn't make it to be played. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you got anything else you want to add to this?
Oh, God, no.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. If you want to check out the game yourself, it is out on Steam. I think it's out on everything. But it's a $40 game right now. It's on sale on Steam for $31.99, so 20% off. You can go buy it now for sale if you really want to play it.
And it's on sale for the Atari 2600.
Yes, for the N64. You can go check it out, but if you're interested in it, they need to make if they're going to make a game with licensed products, make something good. Come on. But anyway, thanks for listening, or thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe if you're not already. Help us out. Help Kong out. He needs that subscription. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notification. Stay up to date with new videos that we do all the time, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.